Good morning, everyone. So today we're working on the 94 Dodge. The story behind this truck, a lot of you might say, why are you keeping the old rusted out truck and, trying to keep it on the road. The truck has a lot of sentimental value. It belonged to my stepdad, and when, he passed from being in an accident, I inherited this, and we just want to keep it running. It's a good old truck. It's mechanically, it's amazing. It's got 300,000 miles on it, but the motor probably will go forever the way we use it. And the cost of a new truck is just crazy. If you were to go down and try to buy a new Dodge with a diesel in it today, probably 50, 60,000, and I'm probably way under. It's probably more than that. Say anything about the insurances and the registration fees. So we really like running the older trucks. We know how to work on them. They're easy to work on. This truck has one wire that energizes the solenoid for the fuel. So on the injection pump, there's a electric solenoid that pulls open the fuel, and then the motor rolls over, it starts. So being a standard transmission, you could literally get out under the hood and take a piece of wire, pull the fuel solenoid open, wire it open, push it down a hill, dump the clutch, and it would start up and run. No alternator, no battery, nothing needed. That's just all for the extras, the headlights, the radios, and stuff like that. So it's a pretty simple truck, and mechanically, like I said, we've done a lot of stuff to it. We've done the Yukon hub conversions to get rid of the unit bearings, gone through the motor, everything's good there. Not physically gone through it. We took it into Diesel Fuel Systems, their local diesel shop for us. They did a tune-up on it, adjusted the valves, checked everything over. Mechanically great truck. So you're going to see us over the next year or two put some work into this truck. I suspect that next spring you'll see us pull all the sheet metal off, probably sandblast the frame and repaint it. It's in good shape, but it's time to do another coat of paint on the frame, and we're thinking that, hey, maybe we'll try to find a donor truck out west somewhere where there's no rust and change all the sheet metal. We'll see. It needs fenders and doors. It needs a rocker on the driver's side. I have a pair of fenders. I can buy a pair of doors. So we'll just keep it going. But that's the story behind it anyway. So that's why we keep this old truck around. We like the truck. It's got plenty of power, hauls all of our equipment, and it plows all of our snow. So today we want to get into that, and we want to change the fuel filter. On these diesels, it's a little bit interesting to do, and on these Cummins with the vacuum brakes, it's even more interesting. So we're going to bring you in. We're going to show you where the filter is. We're going to try to show you changing the filter. You'll see what I mean when I say interesting when we get down in there. So let's get you in there, let's show you what we're doing, and then after we get the filter changed, we'll explain to you what we do to get it running, because it's not like a gas vehicle where you just get in and crank it. If there's any air in the system, the truck won't start, so we have to bleed that out. So let's go. We'll get you in this so you can see what we're doing. And like I say, we're going to try to companion you in here with us, and hopefully everybody can see what somebody's doing. I think you might want to be right about there, and pretty hard to see, like I told you, but right in behind that brake booster, right down on the engine, is a filter. So we're going to get ourselves something to stand on, a filter wrench, and we're going to get up in there and see if we can knock that filter out of there. The one good thing on the Dodge is the front bumper is completely exposed once you take the open the hood. Now these have a water sensor in the bottom of them that has a plug. In our case, the plug is broke off. We don't use it, so we don't have to worry about it. But if yours still has that, you have to unplug it before you get under there with the filter wrench. And you need to make sure you know which way the filter wrench is going, because there's no room to turn it around. And you wrestle that bad boy up in there and loosen that filter. It's not terrible once you have done it a couple times. And you spin that filter out of there. There will be some fuel run out of there. You may want to loosen the fuel cap on the tank first, if it's like hot out and the tank is got some pressure in it for some reason. I find if I get my finger in the threaded hole, I can work the filter back up out of there. So let's go over to the workbench, because we have to do some work to this filter. All right, we're gonna make ourselves a little space. We're gonna get a drain pan. So in the bottom of this filter is you can pull this up, and what you're supposed to be able to do is get under there and pull it up and let the water out of the filter periodically. So in theory, what's supposed to happen is this wire's hooked to this. There's a light on the dash that comes on, tells you there's water in the filter. You pull that thing up until you see clear fuel, pull it back down, and then you're good to go again. Like I said, we don't have the light, so we're just gonna go ahead and change that fitting. Pair of pliers, just unscrew it. And nothing about this is clean. You'll notice I tend not to usually worry about getting dirty. So that's the piece we're after. So we're gonna set that aside. Get rid of our drain pan. Get another handful of paper towels. Get our new filter. And your new filter is going to come with a couple gaskets. It comes with this one here, which goes up in the truck, and it comes with this one, which goes on this piece right here. So we're going to just take a regular screwdriver, get under that O-ring, start it, and roll it right up off the threads. Put our new one on. That. I'm going to go ahead and open up our plastic bag. And we're going to screw that in the bottom of the filter. And I find I can hold the filter tight enough by hand. I don't need a wrench, and just snug that up. You'll feel it bottom out against the O-ring, and that's it. Make sure you pull that back out tight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go find a little diesel fuel, and we're going to fill this. And that will be, we'll explain why in a minute. So hold on while we go find some diesel. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've gone and got some diesel. We shouldn't make any mess here. And you'll notice this is red because this is off-road diesel for our excavator and stuff out of the tank out back. This little bit I'm not worried about using, but you do not want to use off-road diesel on the road because it can cost you a lot of money if you get stopped. And it doesn't need to be plumb full, because remember, we have to get it up in there under the hood. So we're going to get you set up so you can see what we're doing under the hood. Let's see if we can get you a little bit different shot. So we know we're right down in there. Let's try that and see if you can see what we're doing. And I mentioned this gasket. If you reach up in there, there's a threaded piece that the filter threads onto, and you'll find that gasket on that right there. Put the new one on. So now what we're going to do, we're going to stick our finger in the hole of the filter like that. We're going to snake it down through there the best we can without spilling too much of it, which is why I said we don't have to fill it completely full. And by nature, you want to try to reach the other hand in there. It's not really a place for it. Now we're going to leave it a little loose, because now is where we're going to bleed the system. So we use our push broom handle, and down in there on the side of the engine, I'm not sure you're even possibly going to be able to see it, but there is a plunger on the fuel pump, and it's pretty much right straight down in give or take a few. You got to get around these brake lines. Right there. And we're going to pump it until we see lots of good fuel coming out of the filter, like we do now. So now we're going to tighten up the filter. filter wrench on there and snug it up. This one does not seem to tighten up like an oil filter does, so I've had pretty good luck cranking this one up a little tighter. And then try to get the filter wrench back out. There we go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to keep priming. There is a, over here on the injection pump there's a relief valve. And it makes a little bit of a noise. So we're going to keep priming until we hear that. Don't know if you can hear that or not. So that should be good. We're going to back you up a little bit. And we're going to see if this will start. Alright, so you saw we got it running. We didn't, like on these Cummins, generally speaking, if you give it just a little throttle as you crank it, it'll fire right away. If you don't put your foot on the throttle, it has to go over 5 or 6 times. We just let it roll over on its own and fire up, and then we gave it some throttle. So we let it run, we check for leaks, we're not seeing anything leaking out of it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get on, we're going to do the oil change, the seal, and the transfer case, and all that good stuff. So really appreciate you guys watching. We'll bring you along for a lot more repairs on this truck, a lot of upgrades, some interior work, etc. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.